Breaking news now on Fox 13 News at 9.
We begin our broadcast with breaking news tonight at 9 o'clock. There is a big police scene happening right now in Whitehaven. Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Coy. Fox 13's Tony Atkins joins us live from the scene. Tony, this is an active scene right now near an old school building.
Greg, very active and very large, and it's all centered around what's happening on the campus of a vacant elementary school right behind me here in Whitehaven. I want to show you right over there that car that police are congregating around. It appears that it crashed out on property of the school, and neighbors tell me that there is a body inside. Right now we're still waiting to hear back from PIOs about what happened here and what led up to this incident. This is a very large scene. Again, police clearing us off several blocks here in the area as they investigate, trying to piece together what happened. And as soon as we get more information, we're going to be out here working with our sources, trying to see exactly what police are finding out about what happened right over my shoulder. For now, reporting live in Whitehaven, Tony Atkins, Fox 13 News.
Okay, Tony, we'll check back in with you throughout this broadcast. Just over an hour ago, a heat advisory finally expired, but we are not out of trouble just yet. Fox 13's meteorologist Elizabeth D'Amore is in Severe Weather Center 13. And Elizabeth, we could have another advisory issued because of the heat and the humidity that's sticking around.
Yeah, that's right, Greg. We did have that advisory let up, but we're not letting our guard down. These are your forecasted heat index numbers or feel-like temperatures over the next 3 days. Low 100 range, so very close to that 105 mark, which we need to get a heat advisory issued. So it's definitely possible as we go through Wednesday, at least for some parts of the Mid-South. So we're definitely watching that and want you to do the same and be mindful of the heat. It's still here at least through Independence Day, and I'll have much more on that 4th of July forecast here in just a little bit. But let's talk right now. Feel like temperatures still sitting in the 90s for some, upper 80s for others, like Memphis 89. We've got 91 in Bolivar, 84 over there in Tunica. Still a very muggy night and a dry night. We didn't see much rain at all here across the Mid-South today, but we're going to increase our rain chances for the next couple of days. But tomorrow morning, right in, should be fine. 78 degrees. We're going to call it partly cloudy, but clouds increasing throughout the day. We'll talk rain chances and, of course, more on that heat all coming up.
Here's what's developing tonight. The body of a missing Florida teenager has been recovered right here in Memphis. Pace Taylor was in Memphis for the Widespread Panic concert, and tonight his family is planning a memorial. Police tell us the 19-year-old fell into the river after jumping a barricade Friday night. Fox 13's Tony Atkins spoke with Taylor's mom, who is now trying to cope with the loss of her son.
Talked about the normal things that you talk about with your kid when you only get to see them once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, Taylor's mom talks about the kind of person her son was and explains how the family has been dealing with his loss.
This is breaking news.
We have new information tonight about that breaking news that we told you at the top of the broadcast. Memphis police are on the scene of a homicide. Fox 13's Tony Atkins joins us live from the scene. Tony, you've been there for the last half hour, and we just got word that it is indeed a homicide where you are right now.
And Greg, and I learned that victim was shot and the body is still on the scene. I'm going to take a step out of the way here. You can see where police are congregated again. I told you about that car about 30 minutes ago. It appears that the body is still inside. While we were waiting out here, we noticed more officers making their way to that car, bringing stretchers and other coroner's tools just to help remove that body from the car. At this point, police say no word on any suspect information, and if you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number 528-CASH. So we're going to stay out here. We're still digging for more details as to what happened. Again, no suspect information in this shooting. For now, reporting live in Whitehaven, Tony Atkins, Fox 13 News.
Independence Day is Wednesday. Before you make your plans, let's take a look at the forecast. Fox 13's meteorologist Elizabeth D'Amore is in Severe Weather Center 13. Elizabeth, there's a small chance for rain that could happen over the next few days.
Yeah, Greg, that's right. For Wednesday, however, for Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be a little wet here across the Mid-South. Here's your reason why. I'm going to start off with a bigger picture, and I'm also going to take off some of that rain and the clouds there. We've got an area of low pressure down along the coast. It's going to not move too much. It's going to slowly head off to the west over the coming days, but really just impacting our weather, bringing in some moisture into the Mid-South, increasing that rain coverage for Monday and Tuesday, along with rain chances along the Gulf Coast for the next couple of days. So any beach goers, beware for that. So increasing rain chance for us here in the Mid-South for Monday and Tuesday. Now, we also have this area of high pressure that's up across the Northeast. It's heading off to the east over the next 2 days, and that's what's going to help increase that rain chance because we're not under the influence of that ridge of high pressure. But Wednesday, this ridge of high pressure is actually going to build back to the west. And as it does that, we're going to get under that influence of that ridge of high pressure, and we're going to dry things out a little bit. So that means for Wednesday, we are expecting a slightly lower rain chance. We've got a rain chance at 20% for your afternoon time, and it's also going to be very humid, feeling like 103. But of course, we've got fireworks late at night, so by sunset your rain chances will drop, your humidity will also start to slightly drop, and we should feel like the 80s for the time that the fireworks start. Sounds like 4th of July in the Mid-South. Greg.
You can plan your 4th of July weather-wise right down to the hour by using the Fox 13 weather app. It comes with an hour-by-hour temperatures and, of course, interactive radar. So download the app for free at the App Store and also, by the way, on Google Play. Developing tonight, Memphis police tell us they're searching for the driver who hit and killed a 33-year-old man this morning. Happened in northeast Memphis on Shelby Oaks Drive. Fox 13's Zach Crenshaw looks at the investigation into this case and the number of pedestrians being hit in the city.
It was around 5:15. The light was just coming up when a man walking on this street was hit by a car. He passed away here on the scene. The driver sped off, and now the Memphis Police Department are trying to find that person who's responsible. A paramedic's latex glove, a sock, and scattered envelopes. All things left behind from a deadly hit and run on Shelby Oaks Drive. A street with numerous motels, but no sidewalks.
That's not good, brother. You know, that's something somebody need to really do, especially around Shady Road. They need sidewalks.
The driver just sped off after hitting the man, leaving the 33-year-old to die. It's the second time that's happened in 48 hours. Friday night, a man was critically injured after being hit on his way to the corner store on South Mendenhall. Exactly 2 weeks ago, another man was hit and killed at Jefferson and Claybrook. Again, the driver sped off.
I was walking, coming down Claybrook, and by the time I made it over here to Claybrook Street, I just seen the guy. He was already dead, or he was laying on the ground.
To be honest, I really don't know how you could do it. I don't know how you could just leave him laying there dead. People need to slow down as well, and I'm one of them.
Many people I spoke with say jaywalking and texting play a role in the accidents. Aaron Cruthier told me police need to crack down, like other cities he's lived in.
Get a ticket for jaywalking. Down there in Florida also. I just recently come back from Florida renovating a hotel. And I was crossing the street and police blew their horn and, you know, the siren, like, can't do that. I was like, wow, it's different down here.
One explanation why many drivers leave the scene could be intoxication or a lack of insurance. But neither of those charges compare to a homicide or leaving someone to die on the side of the road. This is an area with a lot of businesses and complexes, not a whole lot of security cameras. So right now, it's going to be difficult for police to pull a license plate or a car of that suspect. If you have any information, though, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 528-CASH. In Northeast Memphis, Zach Crenshaw, Fox 13 News.
It is July 1st, and there's a handful of new laws that went into effect today across Tennessee. Here's a few that might impact you. Drivers won't have to have a physical copy of their car registration if you're pulled over by police. You can have one on your phone or your tablet. Going to the lake for the holiday? Well, there's a new boating law that you need to know about. If you were born in 1989, yes, or later, you have to pass a boating education test to drive a boat. And finally, Tennessee will begin limiting initial opioid prescriptions to just a 3-day supply. The exemptions will be made for major surgery, cancer, and hospice treatment. Still ahead here on Fox 13 News at 9 o'clock, how you can use AAA to get home safely for free. That's coming up at 9:45. But first, an amazing video shows the aftermath of a boat explosion.
Fox 13 News at 9 starts now.
Severe thunderstorms are bearing down on the Mid-South. You see them right there on the satellite image. A major line of storms just to our north in Missouri and Kentucky for now, but that line is moving into our area. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Darrell Green. Merle Purvis is off tonight. Those storms have triggered a severe thunderstorm watch for a few of our northern counties. Let's get right over to Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Joey Sullivan in Severe Weather Center 13. Joey, I know you're tracking all of this. Give us a timeline if you can.
This is something that's very interesting. It's all part of all the heat outside, all the high dew points and moisture. And we've been watching the potential for this since before yesterday, but everything's sort of coming together, and we've got an interesting scenario. So as Darrell just mentioned, severe thunderstorm watch covers many of our northern counties. Well, this actually has just been extended while Darrell and I were talking. It only covered about 5 of our counties. That has now been extended all the way to just outside of Memphis, going to the east. You can see where everything in western Tennessee, except for Memphis, is now in this severe thunderstorm watch. Now, earlier it was until 1 a.m. I'll check on that and give you an update in just a moment, but they're already extending the scope, just like this severe thunderstorm warning polygon is extending. What you're looking at is called an MCS, or mesoscale convective system. And what's happening is many thunderstorms are joining together to give us a bow shape. And what that tells us is that we've got winds really packing a punch, and that's going to be the primary threat here. So as you see, we've got no red polygons, no tornado warnings, but we're looking at a lot of lightning, a very well-shaped system that's covering a huge amount of real estate that's making its way right now through Kentucky and into western Tennessee. So it's not that far away from Union City, Murray, and Clarksville, but let's look at some of our areas like Dyersburg. If you can make this out, that leading edge right along that Mississippi River Valley looks to make it into Dyersburg, Dyer County, in about an hour from now, if it holds its present course, and it's going at around 50 miles per hour. So a lot of lightning, a little bit of a hail component, but the primary threat again, major wind speeds as we get this front edge just zipping into the Fox 13 territories. And again, it looks like it's going to hit western Tennessee first, but Arkansas, the Missouri Boot Heel, you could be touched as well. Now, the second part of the equation is absolutely the heat advisory we're under, and that it extends until tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So right now in the city of Memphis, it's been a blistering day, and we're still simmering on the stove, close to 100 degrees. Same thing in Dyersburg, Millington, West Memphis, and Olive Branch. Cooler temperatures where the showers have been falling. You can see the upper 70s. But that's going to bounce back once rain exits. That heat advisory now goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow night, and let's talk about some temperatures. Right now, we've got that heat index that's close to 100, air temp in the upper 80s. We get to tomorrow morning at 7, you're around 78 degrees. It's probably going to feel more like 80 degrees plus. And then tomorrow, folks, now look at this. Around 11 a.m., this is 91 degrees. I expect us to be in the 100-degree club by probably 10 to 11 a.m., and tomorrow's high temperature will likely be the hottest we've seen yet at around 109 degrees. A lot to talk about and a lot to study. We're going to take a closer look at that storm system and your temperatures for tomorrow, and we'll cover that at 9:18.
All right, Joey, we'll see you then. You know, a lot of people are able to work inside air-conditioned buildings during the hottest part of the days, but there are some who have to sweat it out in this heat. Fox 13's Alexa Lorenzo has that story in East Memphis where she spoke with some of the hottest out there, the guys fixing your roof.
Even with the heat bearing down, these roofers are hard at work.
We try to be on all the jobs, so just communication really, seeing how they feel, make sure they have plenty of hydration and breaks as they need it.
They feel the heat even more than others do. Temperatures on top of this roof ranged from 120 to 140 degrees this afternoon.
If you're going to do yard work and you just got to do it, then break it up. You know, do a little bit, rest, cool off, then go back out. And again, hydrate yourself before you even get started.
This entire week, roofers have been doing just that, taking longer breaks to stay healthy while under the sun.
Anything around 100 or higher, we do the 2 to 3 hour break.
Experts say preventative measures need to be taken with these extreme temperatures.
Hydrate yourself well before you even go out there, so you got a little wiggle room that when you are sweating a lot, you can make it up.
During the summer months, roofers start earlier in the day to avoid the hotter temperatures later on. But the most important part is
communication. That's being hands-on, actually being at the jobs with your guys.
Listening to your body is key. So if you start to feel sick, go inside.
That's what has happened to the people that I've seen so far. They just went out there and did their usual thing, and they paid a price for it.
That was Fox 13's. The Shelby County Health Department says 180 people have been treated for heat-related illnesses from May 1st until July 22nd. Now, breaking new details tonight after a gunman opened fire inside a Maryland newspaper newsroom. Since Fox 13 News at 6, that suspected gunman has been identified as a Gerard Warren Ramos. Police say that Ramos filed a defamation claim in 2012 against the newspaper. That's the Capital Gazette there in Annapolis. Police also say they had to use facial recognition services to identify him, and he had altered his fingerprints in some way. We also found out on social media that threats were sent to the Gazette before that shooting. 5 people were shot and killed in what police are calling a targeted attack. We're also hearing from witnesses tonight.
When we came down the elevator, as soon as the doors opened, the cops swarmed the elevator and told us, get on the ground, put your hands up. And they searched us, and then they immediately rushed us out the building.
President Trump took to Twitter after the shooting. He said, "My thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families. Thank you to all first responders who are currently on the scene." That was earlier this afternoon, while that was still a very active situation in Annapolis. Now stay with Fox 13 News, because coming up at 9:15, we're going to have a live report from Annapolis with the very latest information. And don't forget, up-to-the-minute updates are right there on your phone or tablet with the Fox 13 News app. Developing tonight, police are working to solve the recent death of a Memphis rapper. Derek Harris died earlier this week after being shot at the V-Live strip club. Fox 13's Zach Crenshaw has been looking into the homicide. And Zach, police told you the suspect and the victim were both pretty serious gang members.
Yeah, that's what they say, Daryl. It all started with an argument inside V-Live around 4 in the morning. That's when they got into an argument. It got physical. Then one of those men pulled a gun that he somehow got inside the strip club. That's when he pointed at 2 suspects and opened fire. Derek Harris died on Monday. He was shot 15 days earlier at the V-Live strip club. The 32-year-old was a Memphis rapper who went by Rich Lord. Police say he was also a well-known gang leader. According to detectives, he was shot inside the club around 4 in the morning, in his chest. According to police records, his friend, a fellow gang member, was shot in the head. Both were driven to the hospital in cars. Sources tell Fox 13 there's surveillance video of the shooting. A woman was also hit by the gunfire. She told Fox 13 today she was just feet away from the unknown gunman as he popped off. The shooting was the final straw for the strip club, which Thursday was shut down as a nuisance property. Harris was well known in the Whitehaven community and popular. He had 4 warrants out for his arrest. He also had family ties in the area. His father, Derek Harris Sr., is the suspect arrested in the IHOP murder. Right now, though, none of that matters to police. They're just hoping to catch Harris's killer. Now, right now, there is no suspect information from police. V-Live, as you can see behind me, is closed on what would usually be a very busy Thursday night. Yo Gotti's birthday bash going on right now. He was expected to be at this club for an after party. Tonight on Fox 13 News at 10, I'm going to tell you why it may not be all over for V-Live and when they could possibly reopen. Reporting live in Hickory Hills, Zach Crenshaw, Fox 13 News.
Thank you, Zach. New at 9, a Memphis man is facing up to 64 years in prison after being convicted of raping a child. Quentin Brittenham was also found guilty of aggravated sexual battery involving 2 young girls. This all happened between May and December of 2015. The 2 girls, ages 7 and 9, said that Brittenham sexually assaulted them on several occasions. He will be sentenced, we found out, coming up in August. A Fox 13 follow-up tonight. The MPD arrested a man wanted for a string of store robberies. His name is Christopher Clark, and tonight he's charged with aggravated robbery and accused of robbing the subway on Summer Avenue. Police say this is surveillance video that shows Clark. He's also accused of robbing a hair supply store and 2 dollar stores. We're learning new details tonight in the E. coli outbreak earlier this year that was linked to romaine lettuce. Health officials said that the tainted canal water in that area appears to be the source of the national outbreak. 200 people got sick, 5 confirmed deaths linked to this outbreak, and the illnesses were previously traced to romaine lettuce grown in Yuma, Arizona. Health officials say the same E. coli was found in the canal water in that area, and they're still investigating how the bacteria got into the canal. President Trump back in Washington tonight after spending the day in Wisconsin. He helped break ground on a $10 billion Foxconn plant. That plant is supposed to bring in tens of thousands of jobs and billions of dollars in investment. President Trump spoke about his role in bringing the plant to the state.
I wouldn't have done it here except that I became president, so that's good. But they wanted to do it someplace now in the United States. And I immediately thought of the state of Wisconsin.
Foxconn makes LCD screens and assembles iPhones. Tonight, U.S. Representative Maxine Waters of California says that she's receiving threats. She says that they started after she encouraged protesters to publicly confront and push back on Trump cabinet members in response to the separation of families at the border. Waters claims she was only advocating for peaceful protests, despite the call for confrontation. Now, she says she received a serious death threat from someone in Texas and has canceled events in that state and Alabama as well. Tonight, the White House is denying reports that President Trump is looking for a new chief of staff. When asked about the possibility of replacing John Kelly, Deputy Press Secretary Lindsey Walters called it fake news. But CNN sources say President Trump has been privately polling aides and outside advisors for months on possible successors. Still ahead on Fox 13 News at 9, this is Ronald Bargery. What he and 4 others are wanted for in your Mid-South's Most Wanted this Thursday. And disturbing images streamed live on an app that millions of kids use.
I don't like it. I just think parents should check in on the children.
At 9:45, the critical steps that parents can take to keep their kids safe from the apps they download. But first, a live report from Annapolis, Maryland, where police are still putting together what happened in that mass shooting at a newspaper.